In this version of a Prezi presentation, we click on finalist 1, and then it goes over to finalist 2, and then it goes to finalist 3, and then the winner, finalist 2. In this second version of a Prezi presentation, we click on finalist 1, and then it goes over to finalist 2, and then finalist 3, and then the grand reveal, which is the winner, finalist 2. In this last version of a Prezi presentation, we click on finalist 1, and then we get details for finalist 1. It then goes back to the main slide. We then click on finalist 2, and then we get details about finalist 2. Then goes back to the main slide. We click on finalist 3, and then we get details about finalist 3. Then it goes back to the main slide. And then when we click on the trophy, we get the winner, finalist 2, for the grand reveal, and also details about finalist 2. Good afternoon. The boss called me and told me that people are basically falling asleep at his presentations. He wanted to know if I could do something to make his presentations more tantalizing. I was like, yeah, sure. I could create a Prezi presentation for you. And he was like, what's a Prezi presentation? I was like, it's basically a presentation that has like a hierarchy or a map that allows you to zoom in on different slides or different sections of your presentation. He was like, make that happen. I was like, you got it. So, in terms of what we want to do here, we have 4 different slides. We have finalists for a pool suite that we're trying to build. We have finalist 1 here. We have finalist 2. We have finalist 3. And we have the winner, finalist 2. Now, in terms of this, we could do a traditional presentation where we go from slide to slide and talk about our different finalists and then get eventually to the winner. But we could also create what's called like a summary slide where we could create links to the different presentation slides. So in terms of this, I want to click on this first slide and go right above the first slide and then do new slide. This will create a slide with a title and subtitle options. We'll just select all of this and then hit delete. Furthermore, I already have a presentation title in mind, so I already pasted that in. So, Hotel Resort Pool Proposal Finalists. So this will be our summary slide for our presentation. Now that we have this here, we can just click on the white area here of the slide and then go to Insert. And we then go to Zoom, and we go to what's called Slide Zoom. Now we have 5 different options here. We can select all of these or a number of these, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, or whatever we want. But we don't want the summary slide to summarize the actual summary slide. So we choose slides 2, 3, and 4. And also slide number 5 here. And then click Insert. With that being inserted, we can then click off of the hyperlinks. And these are actually hyperlinks to slides. And then slide them down. We'll go put that at the bottom. We'll put this one on the right hand side for finalist 3. We'll keep finalist 2 in the middle, and we'll put finalist 1 over on the left hand side. Now finalist 1 is probably at a good position, but finalist 2 let's bring up. And you'll see the lines in between slide 1 and 2 with the actual horizontal lines, which shows at the top and bottom that they're aligned. If we do the same thing for slide 3, we bring it up and we see that at the top and the bottom, we're getting those red lines, which show that they're aligned. But we also want to align this in terms of spacing between the slides. So if you look at the finalists 1 and 2, you'll see a red line that appears underneath between finalist 1 and finalist 2, and also between finalist 2 and finalist 3. That means they are aligned in terms of spacing vertically in between the vertical sides of the slide. And with this winner finalist 2, we want to put that directly underneath finalist 2. And you can see those lines on the side, the left and right side, which goes up to finalist 2, that shows that the slides are aligned. All right, with that being done, we now have a simple Prezi presentation in terms of, is being able to zoom in different areas of a presentation. And then I'll show you what that looks like before we actually add some options to it. So I'll click in the lower right hand corner, slideshow. And we have our title here, Hotel Resort Pool Proposal Finalist. And if I click on Finalist 1, it zooms into Finalist 1. If I click again, it goes over to Finalist 2. And if I click again, it goes over to Finalist 3. Furthermore, if I click once more, it goes to the winner, which is Finalist 2. If I click again, it'll show me a black screen, and then it'll end the presentation. That's all fine and good, but there's a couple of options we could do with Zoom. So if we click on one of the slide links on the first slide, which is our summary slide, we could then go to this Zoom menu. Because of my setup, I need to double click and minimize my presentation a little bit, and then click on Zoom. And then I'll go back up and go to the Zoom menu. Now, as you noticed before, when we were going through the presentation, after the winner slide, the finalist slide, it actually ended the presentation and went to a black screen before it ended the presentation. We want to click on that winner finalist 2 slide and then say return to Zoom. And I'll show you what that does when we actually hit the presentation and start the presentation. But you could also click on the slides as we have clicked here, and there you could add different borders to the Zoom. You could go to Zoom border and add different colors or the weight of the borders and things like that. So these are things that you can possibly do. As you can see here, I have a thicker gray border around my presentation, and you could choose different levels. You could choose different colors, pink, green, orange, or whatever your flavor is. Furthermore, you could go to Zoom Effects, where you could create different shadows, presets, shadow, reflection, glow, soft edges, and bevel. I'm going to start the presentation so we show the effect of that return to Zoom. So if I click here in the lower right hand corner, slideshow, and then we go click on finalists. It goes, of course, to finalist 1, and then it goes to finalist 2 if I click again. Furthermore, it goes to finalist 3. And if I click once more, it goes to winner finalist 2. And if I click once more, it goes back to the summary slide, which gives it a nice little professional type of effect. Now, if I want to, I could click again off of, without clicking in the area of the slide links, and it'll go to the black screen to end, because that's actually what I want to do in terms of this example. Now, that's all good in terms of a Prezi presentation, but we want to take it to the next level. Even though it's nice and looks great, we want to make it even more tantalizing. So I have here an example number 2 that I want to bring up for you. And you can see on this first slide here, we have icons of televisions. And then we also have our title, Hotel Resort Pool Proposal Finalists. And we still have our 4 different slides with finalists 1, 2, 3, and 4. And with that being selected, we see that we need to do some work here and bringing this TV up. So we could bring this TV up and make it almost at the same level of the other TVs. We want to bring it over a little because we want to get that spacing a little right between the TVs. So that's pretty good. And while we have the picture actually selected, we'll do a Control-C and then a Control-V to make another TV. We'll slide down to put that directly underneath the other one. And if you're wondering where I got the TVs from, I went under Insert, and then I went to Icons. It brings up a menu in terms of icons, and then I just typed in television. And you can search for whatever you're looking for. Here's a light bordered TV and also a dark bordered TV. I chose the dark bordered TV, and then I hit Insert. And you can see, if I grab the TV that just came in, it might be hard to do because I put it in the middle. So here's a TV that we can insert. And you could drag it on the lower right-hand corners to enlarge it and make it different sizes and change the color of the borders and everything like that. We're going to delete it for now since we have our 3 TVs. And like I said, I want to bring this up a little bit to where it was to make it kind of on the same level as the other ones. We could actually bring it over a little bit more to make it look a little bit better. Now with this being our summary slide and we have these 3 TVs, we could take this to the next level in terms of making it more exciting. So one of the things we can do is do our usual and go under the insert menu and then go to zoom and then slide zoom. And one of the things we want to do is not select the first slide because it's our summary slide. We'll slide 2, 3, 4, and 5 and hit insert. And we get those slides. But one of the other things I want to do is click on the white area here of the slide and go to insert and then picture. And then I want to say stock images. And then I have a nice little picture background here that I want. And you're like, where did everything go? Well, we'll get to that. We want to adjust this to the sides of the presentation so it almost looks like a color bleed, where it actually, looks like it's right to the borders of the presentation. And you say, hey, still, where are the icons? Well, you left click on this picture and then you go to the menu and say send to back. And then therefore this picture becomes the background. You could then go to the various winners. The various shortcuts. In this case, we're going to take the winner finalist and put that down here. The finalist 3, put that over here. Finalist 2, put that over here. And finalist 1, put that over here. Now, you want to try to get those inside the TV so it looks pretty great. Try to get the same level on each side to make it look like it's in the picture. In the television. All right. Now, in terms of making these pictures look better, we could click on them and then go, like I said, go under the zoom menu. And I need to minimize, go to zoom, and then click the checkbox up there. And then go to like zoom border. You could click on the border and you could change the different weights of the border if you wanted to. But in this case, we don't want to change the border. We want to actually go to zoom background and click on zoom background so that it makes it a little better in terms of blending in with the television. It gets rid of like the white border around the television. So that makes it look a little bit better in terms of looking like it's actually on a TV screen. Now, one of the things we could do is, okay, well, we're showing our winner already, and we want to build up to that. So instead of just doing the winner finalist picture, we can click on this winner finalist picture and then right click and go to change image. In terms of changing the image, we could then go to from icons. And in terms of searching for icon, we could go to trophy. It brings up a light bordered trophy and a dark bordered trophy. I'm going to click on the dark bordered trophy and click insert. Okay, now we have a trophy in there. And if we want to, we can, change the color of the trophy. We're still on the zoom menu. If we click on the picture, we can then go to home and then go to shape fill. And we can go click on this drop down menu and go to gold. Therefore, we get like a gold border. And of course, we want the trophy, not the TV. So we'll click in the background here to get this TV. And then hit delete to get rid of the TV. So now we have a link to the finalist 1, finalist 2, finalist 3, and then our winner, which is like our big reveal. And I'll show you how this looks in a presentation. We'll click on slideshow in the lower right hand corner here. All right. And if we click once, we get the finalist 1 and it zooms in on the slide with finalist 1. If we click again, it zooms in on the finalist 2 picture. If we click again, we get the finalist 3 picture. And if we click again, we get the winner, the big reveal, finalist 2, the winner of the contest. And then we could click again and it ends the presentation. Now, as before, if you wanted to, we can go to click on the trophy and we could, in my case, I need to minimize to get to my zoom menu. And then I need to maximize to bring back up the zoom menu. I can, instead of the presentation in, after we click on the winner, we could go to return to zoom. And if I run the presentation again, we have finalist 1. It goes to the first, we go to the slide with finalist 1, then we go to the slide with finalist 2, then to finalist 3, and then the big reveal, the winner. And then if we click again, it goes to back to the summary slide, which gives you a better Prezi type presentation effect than just ending the presentation abruptly. But in this case, we do want to end, and I'll click and we'll get the black screen, and then we'll end the presentation. Now, that's all great and well. We have a background, we have a title, we have pictures inside of the TV to make it look like they're actually coming off the TV or being transmitted to us over a broadcast. Okay, and we have a trophy icon for the big reveal. But we could also take this up to another level. And that goes with the example number 3. Example number 3, we have our television slides and we have our title slides and we have our background. But what we have here is we've created sections of our presentation and added details in terms of slides. So let's take, for example, if we scroll all the way up here, we have the default section. We have a section called finalist 1, and sections are indicated by this triangle going to the right. We have finalist 2, and we have finalist 3 down here with some information about that particular finalist, and we have the winner slide. Now for the finalist 1, we have, as I mentioned, extra details about the finalist 1 and in this particular section. Balcony over pool, stairs coming down to pool, curved pool. If we go to finalist 2, we have details about that. Fire pit outside, walkways overlooking pool, and an S-shaped pool. And if we go to finalist 3, we have the fire pit inside, stores surrounding pool, rooms surrounding pool, and the winner slide. We have fire pit outside, walkways overlooking pool, and an S-shaped pool. And you're probably wondering, how do you create a section? Well, let's say if we wanted to create a section, we would just click above a slide and then right click and say add section. We would then name the section and then we would hit rename. In this case, I don't want to add the section, so I'll just hit cancel. If you want to delete a section like this section that I was about to create, you just right click on it and say remove section. All right. Now in terms of our summary slide here, we want to bring in the links. So we have here our summary slide, as I mentioned. I'm going to click on the picture and then drag it out so we could get some nice detail. Make it look like a color bleed going to the borders of the slide. And we want to go under insert and then we want to go to zoom again. But in this case we have another option. It's called section zoom. And for section zoom we want to click on not the summary slide but on section 2 finalist, section 3 finalist 2, section 4 finalist 3, and then section 5 winner. And then click insert. It's going to bring up those different links to the sections. Not just the slides, but the sections. So if I click off of this, so I could just maneuver one slide, I'll take the winner one and bring it down. I'll take finalist 3 and take it over to the right side. Finalist 2 and bring it up right above. And finalist 1 and bring it over to the left. And then we'll put them on the corresponding televisions. We'll put the finalist 2 over its corresponding television. We'll put finalist 3 over its corresponding television. And winner, we'll put it over its corresponding television. Bring it down a little bit. And over. Okay. Now, in terms of getting rid of these white borders on the side of the pictures, what we could do is click on the picture, and then once again, I need to get to my zoom menu. So I'll minimize, go to zoom, and then I'll maximize again. And then I'll click on zoom background. And that gets rid of that white border. Finalist 2, I'll click on, have to get to my zoom menu again, zoom, and then go to zoom background. I click on the picture again, and then I have to minimize to get to my zoom menu. And that's just my setup. It's not necessarily how yours would be. Then I maximize again, go to zoom background, get rid of that to make it blend in with the TV. And once again, I go to zoom background. to get rid of those white lines around the TV on the left and right side. Now in terms of this, we have a summary slide here which has links to the sections, finalist 1, finalist 2, finalist 3, and then finalist, the winner, which is finalist 2. I'm going to click on slideshow in the lower right hand corner here and show you how this looks. We have here the nice title slide with a nice background, the title slide or the title at the top, and also the pictures within televisions. If I click on finalist 1, it'll go to finalist 1 slide. If I click again, it'll go to the details of the finalist 1, like the balcony over the pool, the stairs coming down to the pool and curved pool. If I click again, it will go back to the summary slide. If I then wanted to talk about finalist 2, I click on finalist 2. It goes to the picture slide. It then goes to the finalist 2 with the details like the fire pit outside, walkways overlooking pool, S-shaped pool. If I click again, it takes me back to the summary slide. If I go to finalist 3, it brings up the picture of finalist 3. If I click again, it brings up the features of finalist 3. And you could add more and more slides behind these sections. If you had 10 or 20 slides, it's going to go through those different slides and then take you back to the summary slide. But in this case, the features for finalist 3 are fire pit inside, stores surrounding pool, rooms surrounding pool. And then we have winner, finalist 2. We click on that, it brings us to the winner finalist 2 with the slide and the picture. And then it brings in a detail, fire pit outside, walkways overlooking pool, and then an S-shaped pool. And as I mentioned before, if you didn't want this TV and you wanted to build up to the winner, you could change this icon to a trophy. And instead of the TV being there, we could do that. And I'll show you that right now since we have some time. For the winner, finalist 2, what I need to do is first get out of the presentation. So I'm going to click off of the presentation, get the black screen, and then go out. And then for winner finalist 2, I'll click on the picture and then I'll say change image. Once again, we go to from icons. When the menu comes up, we type in trophy. And then I'll select the trophy with the dark border and then insert. Okay, we now get the trophy. Click in the back to select the TV, hit delete, get rid of the TV. We then select the trophy again because we want to go to home, and then shape fill, and then change the color. We want to change it to gold. And now if we run the presentation once again, you have your gold trophy there. And then if we click on that, you have the winner, finalist 2 for the big reveal, and then the details. So that is how you can create a more tantalizing presentation and engage people's interest in terms of being able to zoom in on different sections of your presentation or different slides. If you didn't have a section for your presentation, you just had slides that you wanted to go through. This could help you engage the audience and also keep their attention, and also help my boss out so people won't pass out and fall asleep during this presentation. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this helps in making your presentations more engaging and more tantalizing. Once again, thank you.